Okay, continuing problem number 11, when we found f of -1, again, remember that was the red line, so we went down 3. When we find g of 1, that's the blue line, we went to the number 1 and went down 2. And we want to add those two numbers together. So -3 plus -2 is -5, and that is our answer. Sketch the graph of dx if dx is ex plus w. Well, here it would be helpful to know what ex equation is. So if I look at, it's a line, so I need to find the y-intercept and the slope. So if you look, you can see that another good point to use, well, I've got one there and here, I've got one here, all along this line, if I keep going. And so if you notice all the way through, as I go from left to right, I'm going down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1 every time. So that's going to be -3x. I don't have to put the 1 underneath. And the y-intercept is at +1, +1. So this is the equation for ex. And now if I go ahead to the red line, w of x, we see that the y-intercept is -2, so I'm going to put a -2 there. And I need to know what the slope is. So I see that this line crosses through all of these points. So if you were to go down 1 over 1, you'll notice that that is the slope for this line. So down 1 over 1, that would be -1 over 1, or we can just put -1, or we could just put a negative. We don't even need the 1. And what it says we want to do with this now says we want to do dx. dx is e plus w. So if we take function e and add it to w, well, I'm going to combine like terms. So -3x plus -1x is -4x. +1 take away 2 is -1. And it says sketch that graph. So now that I know what to sketch, I'm going to start at -1. And I'm going to go down 4 over 1 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 4, 1. So this line right here, I would draw a line right there. That would be d of x. And yeah, it should have arrows, and so should the red and blue, but that would be d of x right there. That's the green line graphed, the sketch of d of x. Sam is running School's Bookstore. C is cost, R is the revenue. So we got R revenue, C is cost, and P is you take the R and subtract the C, and it says therefore P represents the profit. So if I take the revenue and subtract the cost, I get the profit. So I'm going to, over here, I'm going to put Rx, then the Cx, and then I'm going to put Px. This is helpful because if I put Rx first, then it'll be really easy to subtract the C number and find out the cost. So the Rx line is the blue one. And maybe let's just go with blue here. Okay, so in January, Rx was 400. So I'm going to list that. February, our X is 500. So I'm going to go through and list the revenue. March had 300. So I'm just looking at each of these points. Let's see, April and May were both 200. And very last of all up here, we got another 400. Okay, so that's our revenue. And now I'm going to go through and label all the costs that we had here. So in January, let's see, we're at 500 for the cost. February, 300. March, 200. April is 200. And we're in May. So May is 300. And June is 100. Okay, so now we're going to do P of X. P of X, remember, is it says do R take away C. So I'm going to do this column subtract this column. So 400 take away 500 is negative 100. 500 take away 300 is 200. 3 take away 2 is 100. 2 take away 2 is 0. 200 take away 300 is negative 100. And 400 take away 100 is 300. So notice the profit, or the amount of money coming in at the very end. It sometimes is negative because sometimes the costs are more than the money being brought in. So we're going to graph this here. So January is negative 100. The next February is 200. Oh, I guess I should line it up a little better. I can't really see the lines. Then we got 100 in March. And 0 in April. Negative 100 in May. And then for June had a good amount of money being made. So June is back up to 300. Okay, Sam owns 2 houses that he rents out. He charges the following for each house: a $2,500 down payment and a $1,350 or $1,350 for each month's rent. So a down payment means he pays that amount of money once and only once. So I'm going to look at what the question says right here. Write a function for each house's revenue. So house 1, let's see, let's put house 1, well, we'll use h of x for house 1. So this one will be our h. And it says we have a $2,500 down payment, so that's how much money I pay one time, plus they're going to pay, well, this is Sam, right? He's renting these houses. That means this is the money that Sam is going to earn or get from the people renting his house. So, but he gets that much every month, so I'm going to put X there. Then for house number 2, we got this much down payment and that much per month. So this must be a bigger house. And I don't know, for this one, let's use, I don't know. Well, we don't want to use H again. I'm going to put just a random letter, V. So V of X equals $3,200 down payment plus $1,725 a month would be the money that Sam gets on the houses. Okay, part B. Write a new function to show the total amount of money coming in for Sam on his 2 houses in terms of the months paid. So the total amount of money, I'm going to use T for the total amount of money that Sam gets. Well, this is how much Sam makes on the first house, and this is how much Sam makes on the second house. So we want to combine, or we want the total. Total means add. So we're going to add these two together and find out we got $5,700 coming in for the down payment, and every month these people pay a total to Sam of $3,075 each month. So that is the total. That's our new function. Okay, a candy shop buys root beer candies for $13.50 per pound, watermelons for $3.75 per pound. They sell root beer candies. Okay, so they buy them and they sell them. Okay, so buying means that's our cost. That's how much they have to pay. And selling would be the revenue. That's how much money they get to bring in. That's how much they make. If R is the number of pounds or root beer candies they sold, and W is the number of pounds of watermelon candies they sold, what is their profit? Okay, so here, I need to get some room. We are going to have, if I want profit, remember profit, up here from this one right here, we got P of X. We need to do the RX, take away the CX to get the profit. So our revenue is equal to, we got $4.75 for every pound of watermelon. So I'm going to use W, and then it is plus, oh my bad, $4.70 root beer candies for $4.75. So that would be R. And plus $5 for the watermelon. Then the cost of those candies, how much they had to pay to even have them in their store. So the root beer ones cost that much, where the watermelon ones cost $3.75 per pound. So now what we want to do with this is we want to take R and subtract C, because that will give us the profit. So P is, profit is, I'm going to subtract. So $4.75 minus $3.15 would be $1.60 for the root beer candies, and the profit they make on the watermelons is $1.25 per pound. So $1.60 per pound and $1.25 per pound would be the profit, or how much money they actually make after they buy the candies. A toy store must pay $10.25 each popular computer game. The store's fixed cost for this game is $13.02. So notice they've got to pay this for each game, and so this is a cost, and it's going to cost them this much. Fixed cost means they pay that one time. And right here it says write the cost function. So I'm going to use those numbers. Notice the next thing it says is how much they're going to sell them for each game. So I'm going to do cost. Cost is $10.25 for each game. So I got to have an X on there. And then plus the $13.02 fixed cost. So all of that is our cost function. Revenue, they're going to bring in $15.50